Start recording for everyone, and we'll take our first question from Jacob from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jacob.
Rondel, how's it going today?
How are you doing?
Good, good. Hey, it's your first Bedlam matchup, obviously. So what does this series mean to you, and do you have any special memories watching this series growing up around Oklahoma City?
It's really just one of those games, where you sign to go to OU or OSU. It's not one of the most important games. Not one of the most important games. One of the most games that you look forward to. But at the end of the day, it's one of those games you look forward to, just from how big of a rivalry it is and how much you don't want to lose to the other team.
Do you have any fond memories of this series at all growing up watching it?
No, I just remember that the most memorable game to me is when they played Trae Young here at OSU, and then he had 48, and then the dive on the loose ball got the ball, and then from there, and then it was just OSU from there. So that's really my biggest one.
What's going to be the challenge of defending OU? They've got a lot of offensive weapons, but Austin Reed's been playing really well, particularly. So what's the challenge there?
I feel like the challenge really is just staying disciplined. They like to do a lot of dummy motion offense and get engaged throughout the whole 40 minutes and not get caught sleeping. But I feel like we match up really well with them. And then we just got to cause mismatches on the other end for them to on the other hand. So I feel like we're very prepared to go into the game, and we should have a good outcome.
And I got a question about Cade. There's been kind of some outside talk that it's Cade and everybody else. I don't agree with that. I'm sure you don't agree with that. But how good was Monday night for you guys with him on the bench to kind of go out there and rally the way you did and maybe say otherwise to what people say?
Shoot, that's the first time I heard that. I ain't gonna lie to you. But I'm sure people know about it. I've probably heard about it if you have. But we really don't but we really don't get involved with stuff like that. Him being on the bench and we still thrive, and that's really no surprise to us. That our team did well without him when he was with COVID, and that just shows how deep our team is yet again. So for him to be a leading contributor and we still go out there and make a key round without him, that just amends to how good of a team we are.
How much has he made you guys better, though, too, in a way? I mean, I feel like that needs to be asked as well, because he's really emphasizes getting you guys involved. So how much has he helped you guys improve, too?
I think I said in this early interview, he's just a competitor. Day in and day out, he either gonna sink or swim with him type thing. He gonna embarrass you, or you gonna meet the expectation and eventually find a way to pick your game up to take to a whole nother level. So he's done that since day one, and from since on, which just all of us have got better since then, and we try to do our best to push him as well.
Awesome, thanks, Rondel.
Yes, sir.
Our next question will be from the lines of Joseph Fazio. Go ahead, Joseph.
Rondel, you guys have had some good games against top 25 teams this year, and going in Bedlam against the number 7 team in the country. What do you think is the difference maker for this team to hopefully get the win in Norman and Stillwater?
Just how much we want to win this game. It means a lot for Big 12 standings, for NCAA seedings. But on top of that, I feel like there's no bigger game than the next game, and this game happened to be Bedlam. So I feel like we just got to go in locked in and come out with the W.
You guys are basically going to have back-to-back Bedlam games. How important is it, this Saturday game, getting to see what you guys have against Oklahoma? How important is it to bring into Monday's game as well?
I feel like no matter the outcome, we're still going to be the same team, the same level of the team going into the next game. It's always the next game up, and this happens to be 2 back-to-back next games, so with the same team. So our game plan won't change, or just our mindsets might have to shift a little bit.
And I talked to D yesterday for a couple minutes. It's been a little over a month since he got the scholarship. How important has it been for the team that they've been able to spend more time with D now that he's only working part-time at Walmart?
I feel like this is one of those things where you get it's one of those things where you got like a half sibling type thing, and you only get them for the weekend, and then they change it to, okay, you read him for the whole week and you don't get to see him on the weekend. So we appreciate him, get to see him in the locker room. He's always he brightens our day, push us to get better day in and day out, and he's a good scout every time we're on the floor. So just having him be around is just an overall plus.
All right, thanks, Rondel.
Yes, sir.
Our next question is from Marshall Scott. Go ahead, Marshall.
Yeah, Rondel, did you grow up an OSU fan or did you grow up an OU fan?
I really grew up an OSU fan, to be honest. Only time I ever liked OU is when Adrian Peterson was there, and that was for football. Like, I was never really a Blake Griffin OU fan type thing, but I mean, just going into the game is definitely motivation to just go out there and, just do what I do and do what we do and come out with the outcome that we want.
If I'm not mistaken, OU didn't offer you, kind of what was your recruitment process with OU like?
It's really slow throughout my whole high school and everything career. So, I mean, that's extra motivation for not even just me, but I mean for Keelan and Caleb, in-state guys as well. So that's definitely extra fuel to the fire.
Do you find that odd that that you didn't get an OU offer? You, Keelan and Caleb, all contributors at OSU on a Big 12 team. You'd think you'd at least get maybe more of a look than you got.
At the time, I mean, I didn't understand it, but I mean, now I'm here and I'm glad I'm here. Glad I didn't have to make a decision between the two. So, back then, yeah, but now it really doesn't matter. But it's still in the back of my mind, like, oh yeah, we got to go out and we got to get this W for sure.
As an Oklahoma kid, have you had to field any questions from your teammates, to kind of tell them what this rivalry is like from an Oklahoma perspective?
I feel like it's one of those things what's understood doesn't have to be explained, and this is definitely understood how big of a game this is and how big of a rivalry. So, I mean, everybody, if they don't know, they kind of got a glimpse of it now type thing. So everybody's bought into the idea of how big this really is. So it should be a fun and exciting game.
You mentioned the Trae Young game. You mentioned Blake Griffin's teams. What is it is that exciting as an Oklahoma kid to kind of leave your legacy on this rivalry now?
Oh, for sure. I mean, one of those things where you only get 2 Bedlam games a year, really, so until the Big 12 tournament. So just trying to get a clean sweep going into Big 12 tournament play and NCAA play. So that's just our next goal, next game up.
Do you guys as a team like how Mike isn't kind of backing away from the fact that it's rivalry, telling him, we don't like them, that the game kind of means more?
Yeah, I mean, we really like the real. We don't like the fake. The fake would be it's just another game type thing. On the schedule, yeah, it's another game, but I mean, you just got to be a part of this to really understand how big of a game this truly is. So, yeah, we're behind Coach for sure.
I appreciate it, Rondel.
Yes, sir.
The next question is from Frank Bonner. Go ahead, Frank.
Hey, Rondel, playing the same team over the course of 3 days, what advantages does that present in terms of scouting OU?
I feel like the outcome is determined by how we, just stick to our game plan throughout. And I feel like a quick turnaround like that is just not so much on us focusing on them, but after the game Saturday, eat, resting, hydrating, and getting ready for the next game type thing.
Yeah, I know a lot of fans are excited about 2 Bedlams being this close together. I guess what are your thoughts on the closeness of these 2 Bedlam games?
I mean, it really doesn't really matter to me. I'm just glad we really got to make up the game, to be honest. I wouldn't matter if we played it now or a week from now, the swing. So, like I said, just really 2 more games.
I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
It looks we have a follow-up from Jacob. Go ahead, Jacob.
Rondel, how has Mike kind of maybe prepared you guys, or has he talked at all about the final stretch? I mean, you got the Baylor and West Virginia games added next week, and then you got Kansas City after that. It's going to be a long, maybe road trip. Has he started preparing you guys for that at all?
Not really. We haven't really been looking far down the line. He talked briefly about us adding those 2 games at the end of the season. But like I said, it's just next game up type thing. We'll get there when we get there. He really been stressing us getting our academics out the way so we don't got to worry about that while we're on the road, study hall type thing. So that's really been his main focus, making sure we're ahead and staying on top of our schoolwork so we won't have to be stressing out while we're on the road.
Is it kind of an embrace the challenge mentality for that final stretch too, when you get OU, the number 17 team in the number 7 ranked team in the country twice, then you get Baylor, and Baylor is Baylor, and then you get West Virginia. At West Virginia, does that kind of embrace the challenge from him?
I don't really feel like we look at it as a challenge. I feel like as a player on this team, we're all competitive, and I feel like there's no greater schedule at the end of the year to prove ourselves going into NCAA tournament play. So I feel like we're all excited for it, and we're just ready to get these games over.
Awesome. Thanks, Rondel.
Yes, sir.
Really have time for one last follow-up if anybody has it. All right. Well, thank you so much, Rondel, and best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
one and only Cade Cunningham has joined us. He's going to read over his game notes real quick, get as prepared as you guys always are.
Yeah. Gotta check everything out.
All right, go ahead and raise your hand if you have a question for Cade, and we will get it started with Jacob Unruh from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jacob.
Cade, how's it going today?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing well. Hey, your first Bedlam. I think we might have asked you this before. We thought you were going to play the first time in Bedlam, but what do you know about Bedlam and the rivalry?
I know it's something that means a whole lot to everybody around here. It's even being an Arlington kid. I hear about Oklahoma State Oklahoma rivalry a bunch. So I know it's a big game. I know there's gonna be a lot of emotions, but it's gonna be fun though. Something that everybody's gonna want to compete in and want to win. There's a lot of bragging rights in the game, so it'll be fun for sure.
One thing that stood out to me lately is it seems like there's some talk and chatter outside of it's Cade and everybody else on this team. I don't agree with it. I'm sure you don't agree with it. But when you see the way your teammates responded with you on the bench in foul trouble the other night, does that kind of negate that thought? What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, I know how much attention I bring, but I always feel like my teammates don't get enough credit for what they do on the court and just in the locker room. Like I know that they're appreciative of me, but I don't think maybe I could do a better job of letting them know how much I appreciate them. Just because they bring it every day, and they've made me so much better throughout the year that what I'm saying. I know I wouldn't be where I am right now if it wasn't for them. So I try to deflect that attention as much as I can. I wish more, ESPN interviews were for them. I wish they could kind of get the spotlight that I feel like a lot of times they deserve. But, they use it as fuel, and I appreciate them for that, for sure.
Do you use that as fuel too? Like, 'cause I know you intend to get your teammates involved more. And so do you use that as fuel as well?
Definitely. I mean, I know, like I said, I know how much attention I bring game plan wise too. So I know I have weapons around me, and anytime that I can get them going, getting them good shots early on, I feel like that'll help us down the stretch of games. If they do send a double team and I'm passing to somebody that's already shot a couple in the game. So, we're all a team. There's no one man above the group. So, I try to play like that.
And not a lot of guys have 5 teammates that are averaging 9 points or more.
Yeah, we're proud of that for sure. We're proud of that. Everybody, I mean, we have so many different weapons. If we could get everybody clicking at once, I think we'll be super deadly. But the fact that we always find a way to compete just because we have a bunch of guys that just go out there and hoop, I think that says a lot about us and about Coach Mike for, giving us all that type of confidence.
And I got to ask about Avery, the way Avery's played lately. You talking about teammates here. What's really kind of stood out to you about the way Avery's grown this season?
I think I've known Avery since for I don't know how long. I've seen him play for forever. I've played with him and against him in camps, things like that. But he always had the ability. I think now he's just, he's playing a lot more free. He's playing with a ton of confidence. And he's not thinking as much. It's so natural for him. And I think now he's kind of just letting his field take over instead of trying to overthink the game and force things to happen. So, he's helped us out so much. He's took a lot of pressure off, everybody else on the team. So, we're going to try to keep him going. And he's been practicing great. He's one of those dudes. He's in the gym at 6 a.m. He's working. So, I have nothing but confidence when the ball's in his hands. I know he's going to make shots and things like that because he cares and he works hard.
Awesome. Thanks, Cade.
Yeah.
Next question is from Cliff with the Associated Press. Go ahead, Cliff, Ron.
Hey, Cade, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. Hey, just a few quick things. Firstly, how have you handled the process of learning when to attack and when to look for your teammates? It seems like it's a process that you've grown in over the course of the year. Can you talk a little bit about that and just where you are with it at this point?
Yeah, I think earlier on in the year, whenever I felt like it was my turn, I would kind of force it a little bit more and kind of force my looks, especially if I had been passive earlier. But I think now, after some time and just, building chemistry with the team, getting more comfortable on the court and things like that. I feel like now it's just more, what I see each play. I feel like I'm playing with more pure intentions of, just trying to find the right play. Whereas earlier I was kind of predetermining things probably in my head a little more than I needed to. So, I think that's the biggest thing, just attacking what the defense gives. I definitely want my teammates involved throughout the game. I'm not one of those guys that, I don't try to force my own numbers just because that's what, fans want to see or anything like that. I'm trying to win games. So, I feel like we've won a bunch of games this year. A couple of them slipped away from us, but, I feel like if I just go out there to win every game, we're going to give ourselves a better shot. So, yeah, I'm not too worried about my numbers. I think, I've had decent numbers, but not too worried about that. I feel like when my teammates are playing well, that's when we're at our best.
And then if you could help us understand what makes Coach Boyton a good coach.
I think that's one of the biggest things is he doesn't take confidence away from anybody. Like, he's so worried. He just wants you to play as hard as you can and defend. He cares about defense, the things that don't really take talent. He cares about all those things because those are things that everybody can control. So, I think having a coach like that, that's going to, he's going to give you structure on offense. He's going to, let you know what's a good shot, what's a bad shot, things like that. But that's going to, let you be you at the same time. I feel like that's why we all like playing for him, and that's why it's so easy to play for him, just because, you want to play hard for somebody like that. That's not going to, restrict you as a player. So, I think that's one of the things that, you don't really find too often. Maybe it's because he's younger. Maybe, who knows. But just the way that he relates to us all, it's easy for us to, read the game from his eyes, and he translates basketball so easy to us. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, we've had a pretty good year, but it all starts with him for sure.
Last thing, how do you deflect all the NBA hype? Everybody wants to talk about what you're going to do. How have you been able to focus on the right now with what everybody's saying?
I think mainly because I'm not in the NBA yet. No, I'm not. I'm not getting paid by any team. I'm not, under my rights as a player are not under any team. I'm an OSU Cowboy, so that's what I'm worried about. I'm not in their locker rooms in the NBA or anything. I'm with my team now every day, trying to get better with them. So, I'm not going to be a foot out the door. If I still want to win games, I still love being around my teammates now. Like, I wish it could last forever, but what I'm saying, everybody goes on their own different paths. But the team I have right now, I already had previous relationships with a bunch of them, but since I've been here, it's only been better than what I expected. So, I'm happy where I'm at, and I want to finish strong. I'm trying to finish where I started.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
The communications guy like me, I don't blame him. Next question, Dean Rule.
Hey, Cade, how you doing?
I'm great. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I remember reading earlier, kind of right before the season started, that you had switched over to a vegan diet. How has that kind of worked out for you this season?
Yeah, I started vegan. Probably going into before my Team USA, which was, I started probably almost around 2 years ago now. And I started off with vegan. And I don't know how I just jumped straight into it, but I felt great. I think it was just more like a try it out thing and see if, it lives up to the hype. And it was great for me. And I went to my bird, wasn't as many options eating wise out there at my bird. So I went vegetarian. And so now since then, I've just kind of been back and forth between vegetarian and vegan. But, I think it's been something that's, it's become a routine for me, and it's something I'm really comfortable with now. So I don't see myself really switching back anytime soon, honestly.
There's no temptation being around the other guys eating chicken and steak?
Early on it was, but now I'm at the point where I don't really even look at it like that. I just like, they can have steak, they can have wings, anything, but that's them over there. I don't really look at it like that. That's not really for me anymore.
And lastly, if I remember reading correct, it was your brother that got you into it, right?
Yeah. He was one of the main ones that, I wouldn't say he didn't make me do it or anything, but he was one of the ones that kind of told me what it was about. And then from there, I just wanted to try it out. So, and it worked out pretty well for me. So he's still vegan. He's still liking it. He loves it.
Do the team chefs help you out with getting your diet down?
Yeah. Coach Mike's wife, Miss Jenny, she has a plan for me. Coach Jake, our strength coach, he's on me all the time about, trying to make sure I'm eating right, things like that. So, yeah, it's all hands on board. Everybody's trying to make sure that we're all right.
Hey, thank you, Cade. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Next question, Frank Bonner of the Tulsa World. Go ahead, Frank.
Hey, Cade, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Not every school has a rivalry as big as Bedlam. How much extra fun and excitement does Bedlam add to your overall season experience?
A bunch. I think everybody likes playing. I wouldn't say everybody. I know I like playing when the lights are a little bit brighter. Basketball is almost a form of entertainment, and I kind of look at it as myself as almost an entertainer now at this point. Like, it's something that I really love to do. And when there's more people out there watching, when there's something else on the line, it only makes it more fun, makes it more compete harder. So, having a game like this is huge, and for it to be my first time to be able to play in it, I definitely want to go in there and respect the game, and compete for everybody that me and my team are representing. So I know there's a lot of people that are they feel like it's game day for them as well, just because we wear the orange and black. So we're gonna go in and carry ourselves like that for sure.
Now, I talked to some of your former teammates, and they talked about how it doesn't matter if we're talking basketball or whatever, but you seem to be the loudest cheerleader for any of your teammates, whether it's ping pong, trivia, whatever. Where does that joy come from of just, being so happy and enthusiastic to support other people?
It all starts with the relationships that I built with my guys. Like, if I have a connection with you, whether we're friends, teammates, somebody I consider my brother, we've been, I want to see you succeed, whether, we're on the same side or not. I know they always say whenever we're scrimmaging and I'm against them, they know I'm against them. They know I'm not on their side at all. So, I'm competitive. Like, I like to win, but, if you're on my side, I want to see you win. I feel like, there's a lot of shots to be made out here. Everybody can succeed in their own way. So, yeah, I don't really know. I just like seeing my dogs eat, for real.
That's exactly what they said about being against you. They said that very thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay, they know that. Yeah.
And I told Mike I'd bring this up. He said, off the court, you guys are into music, rap battles in the hotel and everything. He said he's a better rapper than you. I told him I would give you the floor to see if that's true or not.
Who said that?
Mike Miles.
He said he a better what than me?
He said when y'all do y'all freestyle battles, he usually wins. Is that true?
You almost about to make me freestyle right now for the meeting. But I don't even want to do it. I'm gonna let Mike have this one. But he knows though. He knows how it go with me. He knows so I ain't even going, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to call him in a minute. You gonna make me call him, I'm gonna get on his head too.
Hey, look, I told him I'd give you a chance to say your piece. That's all I got for you.
I'm gonna give him FaceTime right after this. So
I appreciate you, Cade.
yeah, I appreciate you letting me know that for sure. Yeah. It's up.
Our next question is from Marshall Scott. Go ahead, Marshall.
Yeah, I don't know how to follow that up, but Cade, what rivalries have you been a part of? Who is Montvert's rival? Who is Bowie's rival? What rivalries have you been a part of so far?
For Bowie, Lamar was a rivalry. Arlington Lamar, that's where actually my older sister, my Cannon, he went to Lamar, my mom went to Lamar, and then I went to Bowie. So Lamar is the north side of Arlington, and then me, I was on the south side. So that was a little rivalry my first 2 years. Then I got to Montverde. IMG was a huge rivalry for us. So I played in the IMG game a couple times, played Oak Hill. So, there was a couple rivalry games. So, like I said, those are always the best games to play in just because the other team doesn't like you and we don't like them. So, you know what I'm saying? Anytime you go out there and compete, doing something you love, all that stuff, it's more fun and there's just higher stakes. Nobody wants to lose those games. So I'm excited for sure.
You mentioned kind of being an entertainer earlier. These are games that Trae Young's played in, Blake Griffin's played in, Marcus Smart's played in. Are you kind of excited for your legacy to now be laid on this, however this goes?
Definitely. Just to, be able to put my print on this game. No matter how it goes, being able to say I've experienced that, and played in that game, it's something that, I'm forever going to remember. I'm always going to be able to live with this game. So I'm excited, man. I'm really excited for sure.
OU didn't offer Rondel or the Boone twins. Do you kind of get a feeling that this game, from them being Oklahoma's, that this game might mean a little bit more to them?
Yeah, and because I didn't know that either. So because of that, we're gonna make sure the whole team knows that. Like, if they want, that's almost disrespectful, really. They didn't want to show love to my dogs, then they're not showing love to us. So yeah, we're gonna remember that for sure. We're gonna all take that into account.
All right. And then I don't know if we'll talk to you before Monday's game, but that will likely be your last game in Gallagher-Iba. Kind of what has been your take from home games? Obviously, it's been a weird year with the COVID and the less fans, but what's kind of been your college experience in GIA?
I've loved it. I've loved playing it. I've never really been a fan of home games my whole career until I got here, just because it's a different feeling in GIA. Like, you can ask my dad, anybody. They always used to be like, well, y'all play at home. Now you always say, I like playing on the road. I like playing on the road more just because, I like when there's people against me. I don't know, but GIA just had a different feel. Like, I always had fun playing in there. The fans, you can tell the fans appreciate good basketball. And they cheer hard. Like, you can tell they're just really rooting for it. So, like you said, I wish, everybody got to come out. I wish, we got to fill it up, but being the last game or whatever, I'm going to have fun in it and try to make it special for sure.
I don't know if you regret not having, at some point this year, the fans probably would have stormed the court. Is there those little things? Do you miss those? Is it sad that you got to miss out on those, or do you just kind of move on with it?
Yeah, definitely. Whenever I was being recruited to OSU, that's something that I was imagining. Whenever I committed, that's what I imagined was, full gym, everybody in there locked in, we win, everybody stormed the court, all that. So now that, that didn't get to happen, we're kind of sad about it, but, it's been a long time where we got to, kind of try to get over it. And I still feel like, the fans have done a great job of bringing in as many as they can and trying to show as much support as possible. So we appreciate it for sure.
Appreciate it, Cade.
Yeah.
And Chris Becker, go ahead.
Hey, how are you today?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. There's been a lot of talk about cutting the one and done rule in the NBA or in college. Now that you have this year under your belt, kind of what are your thoughts on that rule? And should high schoolers be allowed to go straight to the NBA?
My take on that. I think players should be able to go whenever they're ready, honestly. I feel like if you're good enough to be in the NBA, I feel like a team should be allowed to select you. And I mean, obviously the NBA teams are, they're investing a lot of money into these picks, and they do their research. So I feel like with that, they're not going to take somebody out of high school if they don't feel like they're ready. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I feel like, if the kid is ready, that must mean that he's special. And I don't feel like you should be able to, I don't feel like you should have to, take him out of being able to, go make money for his family, and, play at the highest level if, if he's ready. So I don't, I don't know how to really word my take on this, but yeah, if he's ready, he should be able to go. If not, they're not going to take him anyways.
Right. Now that you've had this year in college, is there kind of an added benefit that you found, either on the court or even off the court, like in the classroom, of experience in college?
Yeah, definitely. I think being in the Big 12, being at OSU, I didn't want to hide anything. Like, I chose the Big 12 because I felt like it was the toughest conference in the country. I chose OSU because, you know, there was a lot of guys on the team that I already knew prior to getting here, but I feel like didn't really get as much respect as they should. You know, a lot of people say, you know, why don't you choose Oklahoma State, da, da, da. And, you know, I accepted that challenge. Like, I knew that, you know, them guys didn't have, you know, the respect that they deserve, but I wanted to take that challenge on with them. I knew how much attention I brought, and I wanted to show everybody what we could do together. So, you know, there's a lot of different things that went into it, and I feel like, you know, that vulnerability of accepting the ups, accepting the downs, and trying to grow as a player and as a person. I feel like, you know, my team, all of us, I feel like we've all grown as people throughout this whole season, just with the ups and downs. And yeah, I feel like it's only made me a better player. So I feel like it's definitely prepared me for the next level and just for basketball in the future in general.
Thanks, Cade.
Yeah.
Probably have time for a couple quick follow-ups. Frank, do you have one? Go ahead.
Yeah, Kay, I just want to go back to you saying you prefer road games. What is it about road games that you like so much?
I like hearing fans talk crazy. I'm not gonna lie. It fuels me a little bit. Just being in you know, the opposition's territory is just, I don't know, it gives you like a extra adrenaline. Like I said, here at OSU has been probably the first year in my career where home games has been something that I just look forward to. Like I love playing at home now, but I don't know, high school games, we didn't really have as many fans. At my bird, we were killing people, so not a lot of people wanted to come out for those games. But yeah, you know, the away games have always just been somewhere where I can go in. We usually have drawn big crowds, and you know, people want to see my best shot. And I feel like that extra adrenaline, all of that, you know, it's put more on the line, and you know, it's been more fun for me for sure.
So you experienced some heckling this season, you know, at Kansas TCU. So you embrace that.
Yeah, I mean, every school, like, that's your fan base is weak if they're not trying to, you know, get into the other players' head. So, you know, if you're not trying to get in my head, then I almost take it as disrespect, because, you know what I'm saying, you should try to help your team in any way. So, yeah, I love it. I feel like it brings that extra aspect that we're kind of missing because of COVID back, you know, and it only makes the game more fun for me. So I love it for sure.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
One last question from Marshall Scott. Go ahead, Marshall.
Yeah, I've been meaning to ask you this all year, but what does your course load look like? I'm always interested in what a one and done's, you know, classes look like.
Yeah, first semester was hectic. I had a bunch. You know, I got Red Cross certified this year. So I'm certified to do CPR and all that stuff. I'm actually proud of that. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I took a couple health classes first semester. Leisure arts classes. I took a bunch of stuff first semester. I don't even remember. This semester right now, I'm in some assistive technology classes, some ed tech classes. Yeah, they got me in. That's one thing. They're lying if they say we don't do class, because, well, I be in that academic center too much. I'm not gonna lie. So, yeah, I might need to get ahead of my work, so I ain't gotta go in there so much. But yeah, it's been smooth for me. It's been smooth.
Do you intend on ever coming back and getting your degree, or is that something that you haven't really thought of much yet?
Yeah, I want to get my degree. I don't know how long it'll take me or anything like that, but I know my mom isn't playing about that, so I'll make sure I get it done for sure.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cade. We appreciate you joining us today, and best of luck this weekend.
Appreciate that. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you joining us today. Obviously, a big Bedlam rivalry, 2 games in 3 days here. But I also want to point out the breaking news up in Wichita. Isaac Brown being named the head coach up there. I didn't know if you had any thoughts on that, and then we'll go into the Bedlam rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome.
You're on. Yep.
Am I on mute? I think. Can you guys hear me?
We are having trouble hearing you, Coach.
They say they can hear me, Steven. You got me? They can hear me. The other guys are saying they can hear me.
You guys having trouble hearing Coach as well? You're not having trouble. Oh, it's just me.
We can hear him.
Okay.
Yep, we can hear him.
Well then, Coach, feel free. Please speak away.
All right. I'll have to.
Here we go.
All right. First of all, Isaac Brown, extremely excited for him. Great opportunity. Obviously, well deserved. We played against them, so obviously not in just a symbolic measure. I think he's doing a hell of a job and has earned the opportunity to continue to be the head coach there. It's a great program. Obviously, they've been really successful, but it's awesome to see a guy get rewarded. I've said this before. I know how hard it was for me. I took over a job in March, and all the challenges that it was to get to the season and everything that went into it. He took over in like October, and it's not like they had like 10 guys returning and things were good. New roster, controversy, and kudos to him. So happy for him and his family, and certainly tip of the cap to that athletic director, because somebody had to make that decision. He didn't hire himself. So tip of the cap to that AD and administration. Hope that community continues to support him, and I know they love basketball up there. As far as OU, obviously huge game. We're excited about the opportunity to play against them. We know they've had a really, really good season. Coach Kruger is one of the best in the country, and I'm sure he'll have his guys ready. Certainly after coming off, I'm sure what was a disappointing loss on the road for him. And it's going to be a really hard game for us. They got some seniors who'll be playing in their last home Bedlam game, and I'm sure it'll mean as much to them as it does to us to go up there and try to compete as well as we possibly can.
Yes, sir. I figured out the volume issue. And now let's take the first question from Jacob Unruh. Go ahead, Jacob.
Mike, how's it going today?
Great.
Hey, on the topic of Isaac at Wichita State, did you know him very well before this year?
We've crossed paths. So Isaac was an assistant coach at Arkansas when I worked at South Carolina. He worked for John Pelfrey there. So, obviously you kind of recruit same areas, and you're in the same league, you play against each other. And so I've known him. I wouldn't say we have a close relationship, but we've talked multiple times. And obviously I've been supporting him throughout this year, except for, that one afternoon in December. I wanted to see him do really well. And I think he's done exactly what, you can do if you're given a chance, and you never know what someone's capable of until they have an opportunity to do the job. And I'm certainly happy for him.
I want to go and get this out of the way before Bedlam stuff, but what was your reaction to the South Carolina Lamont Evans stuff yesterday?
I don't know if I had a reaction, honestly. I didn't read all the details of it. I've been really, really focused on getting ready for this game. Obviously, I'm aware. I don't know how relevant it is to our cases. Our case is at a different point. So I'm aware of it, but not spend a whole lot of time focusing on it, and just move on.
Yeah. And any update on Ice for this weekend? Is he gonna play? Is he ready to go more? Is he, how's he feeling?
It's interesting. He, his foot is much better, but he hurt his hand in the game the other day. And I don't know if it's severe, but it certainly has limited him in practice here the last few days. And he's doing what he's supposed to do, getting treatment on that. And we'll see tomorrow how he feels.
And going against Austin Reeves this weekend, he's been one of the better scorers in the league. What's the challenge of defending him?
Really crafty. He has a great understanding of the game. He knows how to manufacture points, and not everybody has that ability to score when they don't shoot well, which he obviously, his numbers from three are down, but he's reinvented himself, and I think he's the leading free throw shooter, in the league. And he gets there, not only makes them, but he gets there a lot. And so we got to try to make sure we're not putting him on the foul line to help him manufacture his scoring. And then, sometimes you got to just get different bodies on him, different size, maybe some length, maybe some quickness to try to keep him off balance so he doesn't get comfortable with trying to attack one type of defense.
people always try to compare players. Is scouting him kind of like scouting Mac McClung? Maybe is that kind of the similar scoring ability to create shots?
In some ways, I could stretch it there. Their games are very different. Max got a much louder game, right?
Right.
Austin actually can get 25 relatively quietly, right? It's hard, but he's a really good player. And, he plays with such great pace. He doesn't really get sped up. And, he's a handful because of that, he kind of controls the game on offense for them because he has the ball in his hand so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike.
Next question is from Marshall Scott. Go ahead, Marshall.
Yeah, Mike, a lot of coaches with rivalry games, they'll, use the cliche that it's just another game. Why have you decided to go the other way with it?
I don't know. I don't know if I ever thought about the other option. It's who I am. I embrace competition. Like we want to win. Like it's not. I don't think it's hard. I mean, that's not. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that. I don't know why anybody would say that it's not important, right? What are we playing for? And the game does mean more to our fans. It's just the reality. I mean, I've always just tried to be pretty honest about it. And I don't know if Carson's on here, but I think his tweet to me the other day was trying to maybe get me to back off of that. And no, we don't like him. That's how I feel. And we're going to go try to win the game. And that's how I approach them all. So I don't know if I ever thought about the other way to approach it. It's just not really who I am.
You've talked about the importance of recruiting Oklahoma before. You've got 3 guys on your roster that play significant minutes that didn't have an OU offer. Do you find that odd? Do you feel that this game means more to them? Just kind of what are your thoughts on that?
I don't get to decide who other people recruit, so I can't say whether it's odd or not. If I grew up in the state of Oklahoma and one school recruited me and the other didn't, it would mean more to me. But that's me. And so, it kind of goes back to the previous question. It's a big deal to be able to represent your state. And they have an opportunity to do that in Stillwater. And so I'm excited that they have a chance to play in this game. And the only reason they get to play it because we believed in them. And so we'll see how they respond.
You've been a part of a lot of rivalries, I'm sure, over the years. Is there something that makes this one unique, or is it kind of similar in that one team doesn't like another team?
No, I think it is unique in this sense. Like everybody picks a side. I mean, there's no, I want to see the state do well, not during this game. And even the people who go to the other schools in the state, they like one school or the other in this rivalry. And I think that's what makes it unique is that it goes beyond just the game. And, there's some places that you could live where something else could be important tomorrow. Not here. And people who don't normally follow basketball will watch that game. They may not watch us against K-State. They may not watch OU play TCU. They're going to watch tomorrow at 2:00. And I think that's what separates it.
And then you guys finally got, the schedule update, and it wasn't too favorable to you guys. You've talked about, just a day at a time, especially in a year like this, but kind of what are your broad views on the weeks that you're about to go through?
It's the Big 12. It's not ideal in this sense. You would very rarely finish the season with 2 road games, specifically the extent of travel that we'll have to do to play them. But it's an unusual year. So, we could complain. What would that do? Or we could try to look at it as, we get a chance to play, if it all works out, 4 games against teams that are going to be in the NCAA tournament, and an opportunity to prove that we're worthy and capable of being in the conversation with those guys. And I'd like to think our guys think of it as the latter and are going to go and try to compete as hard to prove that we are capable of playing with and potentially beating anybody that anyone decides to put in front of us. One thing about the timing of the schedule in my mind, at least the way I try to flip it, we're going to get to if we're fortunate to get to the tournament. We won't know prior to a week before who we're playing the next week. So, and then we'll have to go play two potentially really good teams again. And so maybe it's preparation for us for something down the road.
And then last thing for me, Monday will be, you can kind of mention it, Monday will be the last game in GIA. Kind of what are the senior night kind of, it's obviously a weird year. What's that going to look like? And obviously with Cade, I imagine he'll be somewhat a part of that.
Yeah, it'll be different because everything's different this year. But we'll do our best to try to, show those guys the same amount of love that we can and appreciation for the time they've spent here. The unique part is, I think my first year we had 4 seniors, maybe 5. My second year we didn't have any. Last year we obviously had another big group. This year we're gonna have a chance to honor 3 guys for playing their last game in GA, playing their only year in GIA. And obviously we're going to include Cade in that, and I think it's important that as many people can come out and really show some appreciation for his commitment to not only coming here but representing us the right way, playing the game the right way, and being a really good teammate and ambassador for the university.
Is it weird that I guess like Bryson Farron, obviously Cade looks like he's going to be going to the NBA, but Bryson Farron, they could return next year. Does that add another element to this strange senior night?
Yeah, I mean, again, I try not to think that far ahead. That's something I don't want to miss the opportunity because we never know, what's going to happen, what could happen. And so as opposed to assume or have that conversation now when it's not really relevant, let's just do right by them while we have the opportunity right in front of us.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
Our next question is from Frank Bonner. Go ahead, Frank.
And Mike, multiple times this year you talked about, making sure that your players are having fun while they're doing this. This playing into the Bedlam and not shying away from that. How much more fun does it make for you and for the players to get excited about a rivalry like this?
Yeah, it should be fun. I mean, first of all, the notion that we don't think about every game as, we want to win is kind of crazy, but we understand the gravity of this game, right? We understand that the people in this state are going to show up to work on Monday or show up to church on Sunday and be talking about what happened tomorrow. And that's pretty cool. Sometimes they won't, right? Sometimes, like I said, OU fans or Oklahoma State fans probably didn't watch a whole lot of college basketball last week. We didn't play last Saturday. So they're going to be watching tomorrow. At 2:00, everybody who has any interest in sports will be watching that game, and half the state will feel really good, and half the state will go to church praying that their team gets better for the Monday game.
And then are there any like advantages or disadvantages of playing the same team in a 3-day span?
I don't know. This is new for me. You don't really get this in college very often at all. Happens in the NBA some. It's like kind of a baseball thing, right? Where you have these series. And so I'm curious to see, and obviously I want to focus on tomorrow, but what does Sunday look like? I have no idea, really. It's kind of different. What do we practice? Like, do we go over stuff? I mean, I don't know. I got no idea. So just focus on tomorrow, and then maybe on Tuesday you can ask for that.
But do you think there's any stock in, because win or lose, there's going to be things that you're going to take away from that game that you're going to need to work on. Is there any stock in knowing that whatever it is you say you need to work on, they literally have, a day or two later to implement it that quick against the same team?
Yeah, I'll be careful here. Part of me wants to say, why don't we just play 80 minutes and, go home? But we're not going to do that. But yeah, I mean, on Sunday, we'll watch the film, win or lose, we'll figure out what we need to do to play better on Monday. All right. And that's a part of it. And it'll be interesting to see how our kids adjust, because it'll be weird playing the same guys that much time consecutively. I mean, it's just, I really have no idea how to approach it at this point. We'll see after the game. Maybe on Sunday morning, I'll have a better idea how to approach practice.
All right. Well, if we get a chance, I'll ask you then.
All right.
Do we have any other follow-up questions for Coach Boynton? Marshall Scott. Go ahead, Marshall.
Yeah, Mike, you mentioned, we talk about the 2 games in 3 days kind of deal, is there, and all the extra emotion that comes with Bedlam, is there any worry that, emotions are going to spill over? Do you have a talk with your guys about that kind of stuff with them, seeing these other guys so frequently?
No, I don't. That's not a concern. The one thing we talk about, emotion is a good place to start. It's a good reason to get motivated because something made you feel a certain way, but it's a bad place to end. Right. So emotion is a good place to start, but it's not the best place to end. If when it's over, the only thing you have left is emotion, probably didn't do something very effectively. So there's going to be a time we actually have to play the game well. We have to execute offensively. We have to rebound. We can't foul Reeves 6 times and give him 12 free throws, stuff like that. So the emotion will have to settle, but the game will still mean in terms of the impact. There's a lot of stuff at stake here. I mean, we're not just talking about just the rival as much as that's important. We're pretty close in the standings, and obviously they had a really good run there, but our wins here recently and then them losing has kind of closed the gap between us to a certain degree. So we're in a position where we could be moving up the standings ladder in the league. And that's something you always want to do, is try to get as close to the top as possible.
You mentioned, moving up the standings. I don't think there's been a season in your tenure where you guys haven't played that first round. Is that something that you talk about with them to try and get to a spot where you're not playing that first day in Kansas City?
Yeah, I guess the last time we did it, I was an assistant, and we didn't stay very long. So the object is to try to get in the tournament and win it. You can't win it unless you win the first game. So whenever we get there and play the first game, we'll focus on that. I mean, a lot of times the tournament and your success in any tournament is based on large part of how your matchups align. And so obviously you want to put yourself in position to have the best seed you can, so that, maybe you're not playing the best teams and then having the harder road. I mean, it's always not necessarily easy because this league's a bear regardless, but some matchups just a little bit better for some teams than others.
Thanks, Mike.